Hello, welcome to the podcast that drinks and knows things. I am Abby with tonight's episode. Everybody, Wang, Kechang, Kechung tonight. I fucked that up, but that's okay. Kechung. I don't get it anyways, so I tried. I really went with it. Failed. That's okay. I hear some reverb. Who's got YouTube open?
Me, maybe.
I'm outside.
I'm gonna give it a second.
Kechang.
Okay, Kechang, Kechung. Kechang, Kechung, y'all.
So, well, are we good, folks?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hi, hopefully.
Okay, I
Thank
don't know.
God.
My hangout just looks funky now, but we're all good.
Oh,
So,
hey.
good?
Yeah,
Sorry.
sure.
All right.
Sure, I tried here, folks. It's my first day on the job.
Technology, am I right?
Rodeo.
We are going to try to record this entire episode on August 31st, 2018. Hopefully we don't go into September here. We'll try.
I think we're going
We are.
to.
This is season 4 covering the Game of Thrones episode title, The Mountain vs. the Viper. Let me introduce my wonderful co-hosts, Glenn of House Dog.
Kechung.
Ben, aka Sly of House McLean.
Howdy.
And we have Lucan of House Blackmead.
Everybody, Wang, Kechung tonight.
And lastly, we are joined by Bailey Riddle, aka Bailey Riddle, from the house at Riddle Rights. Hi, Bailey.
Greetings, all.
All right, guys, what are we drinking tonight?
Well, in honor of our 45th episode tonight, we are all drinking some fucking Colt 45.
Colt 45s.
Minus the zigzags.
No zigzags involved.
And in
Always
honor
gonna
of
be
my
fun.
wonderful boss telling me 24 minutes before we were supposed to be airing that we needed Colt 45s, I am drinking Duplin Black River Red. My local gas station did not have Colt 45s, but they did have lemon cake, which I did buy.
Nice.
So there you go.
Oh.
So that's off of Chloe's recommendation, right? That's what she was drinking last week.
No. I mean like
Le-
actual lemon cake.
cakes, like
The
some
actual
Sansa
cake.
Stark Lancet lemon cakes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like that you eat.
oh, okay.
I already had the wine. Duh.
Yeah, that was lemonade and blueberry.
Lemonade and vodka is
Or,
what
yeah,
she was drinking last
Birthday
week.
cake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean like legit a lemon cake. It was delicious. It's gone. So
Here's to 45 episodes, and we're
Congrats,
still fucking
guys.
up.
yay. Let's do a shout out to a friend of the show.
All right, we're going to shout out. Hopefully, you can hear me on this microphone that is just blazingly loud to me. We're going to shout out Joe Buckley at Sir Buckley on Twitter. He is a co-writer for at Westeros History. He has also written for at Tower of the Hand and Watchers on the Wall, and is currently writing his own novel. He is not a real knight so far. That's what I've learned. You can check out his work at thegrindstone.co.uk. He's been someone that we've interacted with on Twitter quite a few times lately and is doing some really cool things. He's going to be starting his own podcast soon, so a lot of exciting things coming from him, and I am going to try to get him on a Season 5 episode of Drinks and Knows, hopefully. He's very British. Very British.
Very British.
So that's
You
only good
too.
for ratings.
Perfect. You too can be featured as our friend of the show by following us on Twitter at Know and Drink. Our show is produced by the love. Move it over here. By the love and support of our wonderful Imaginary Legion patrons. Learn more at patreon.com/stayimaginary. Now, Glenn, do you have any news or current events about
Yes.
Game
So
of
there's an
Thrones?
article that I guess Luke posted, so I'll have him talk about it.
Come on. So there's a mobile game called Reigns, and it's kind of a swipe left, swipe right decision tree video game, mobile game, and it's coming in October for iOS, Android, and PC as a Game of Thrones version of that. And if you've ever played Reigns, it's pretty addictive. It's very, very simple. I mean, it's as simple as Tinder. Swipe left or swipe right. And it's just, I think it's really going to be pretty neat to kind of get in an RPG-ish style game for Game of Thrones, and hopefully the vodcast that Rolls Plays and Games can maybe pick that one up for us. Trendy.
All right, let's do a previous episode recap.
Tyrion finds a champion. Dario does what he does best. Arya learns a new name and some mercy. Mel takes a bath. Brian and Todd get some pie and info. And Sansa builds a castle, and Lysa reaches the moon.
This is Season 4, Episode 8. Episode duration is 52 minutes. It aired on June 1st, 2014. The director was Alex Graves. And Benioff and DB episode description.
Hey, Glenn, since I did your part, you want to do my part?
Jesus.
No, I got it.
That's my part.
Molestown receives some unexpected visitors. Littlefinger's motives are questioned. Ramsay attempts to prove himself to his father. Tyrion's fate is decided. We'll fucking see about that.
We'll see. All right. It is time for Quill and Tinker Pub trivia. Ready for the weakest question of the season?
Yes.
Here it is. All right. So, sorry, trying to word this out in my head. We are introduced, or the Lords of the Vale asked to see Microfinger's niece. What is her name?
Thumbs up when you're ready.
How do you know this?
That's what I do. I drink, and I know things.
All right, you ready? 3, 2, 1, enter. Yep. Points across the board.
Yay! So, something we are implementing to help Abby out and to make it more fun for guests on the show, all guest points will be awarded to the first-time watcher on the wall.
Bailey.
So that is going to continue forward. We're going to try to get a lot more guests. So essentially, Abby can be a little bit more competitive, just to be fair.
Hey, the first 4 seasons I did way better than this one. This one I'm totally tanking. But I
So
wasn't
with
too
that,
far out.
our season 4 totals go to Glenn with 5, Ben with 2, Luke with 5, Abby with 1 because of Bailey's 1.
I wasn't shut out. That counts.
I got
Okay. Thank you.
Hopefully this makes it a little more exciting for Abby. And yeah, so that's what we're going to do moving
I'll
forward.
be like really pushing for guests. I'll be like, no, dude, that dude's an idiot. He can't come on. He won't know nothing.
You're with them ahead of time.
Right, yeah. All right, so let's do the opening credits. Peter Dinklage gets the title head. We see King's Landing, Moat Cailin, Winterfell, The Wall, Bravos, and Marine.
So
Good.
we've
Well-
seen Moat Cailin before,
No.
right? It's a new one, right?
It's new. Yep.
Plus, something I read was they don't have the veil in here, and they have like things like Bravos that really have it. They had like one thing or whatever.
Yeah.
Earlier in the season.
And they never do the Irie or anything like that.
No.
Which there's a lot of scenes there, like season 1. There were, I mean, yeah, that's
No.
Pentos. I think we see it like twice, and they've been there like actually once. So, a little questionable, I
Yeah,
think.
But no Dreadfort.
In this episode, they really weren't there. Moat Cailin makes more. I guess they were. You're right. Yeah.
Well, no, they were just outside of Winterfell towards the end. But like Dreadfort has been in every episode up until this one, even though we haven't been there in 2 episodes.
And they were trying to hide
Yeah.
where that was so it wouldn't give it away. But
Yeah.
thank God
Well,
Abby picked it up.
obviously, we're going to fucking blah, blah.
All right, Abby.
Yeah.
Let's kick off that first Jojen train.
All right, taking the Jojen train to the Molestown stop, where we will see Gilly,
Molestown stop.
Horse, Ygritte, Tormund. Anybody want to help me out here?
Stir.
Sure, that's totally how you spell that word. And wildlings. Yeah.
Tired.
We got Gilly is told to keep little Sam quiet, and Ygritte leads the raid on the workers. Let's start with Luke here.
So I really liked kind of close to the beginning of the scene. We have that nameless hooer, kind of
so funny hooer.
not so funny hooer, can burp, not Reigns of Castamere, but other songs like Bear the Maiden Fair. And she kind of goes after Gilly a bit and is just like, don't let that little cunt prick child wake me up again. And Gilly like stands up to her. She's like, you're not gonna fucking touch him. Like, seems like Gilly's kind of grown some balls a bit. Like, she's always been kind of tough, but it's nice to see her kind of standing up for herself here.
And she says in that little scene too, she's like, no, shut your mouth, when she hears the owl. So, like, yes, it's perfect. Bailey.
Hide your kids, hide your wives, because the wildlings are coming in and they're fucking everything up.
All right.
Hide your wife. Cause they're raping everybody out there.
Glenn.
Yeah, so it's kind of worth repeating, I guess. We
Sorry,
have
Glenn.
4 from show. Burping the bear in the maiden fair, obviously, which has already been said. But, we'll say it again. So then I guess this will tie into Benji's. We'll let Benji go with his.
Well, mine was, it's interesting that Ygritte gave Gilly a pass. I understand because she had a kid and so she took a little leniency on her, but I wanted to look a little deeper into it. Maybe she could tell she was another wildling.
That's what I was thinking, yeah, because, me as a viewer, I can't really tell. Like, it just looks like another person.
Yeah.
But it just seems like the show, once you, like, the wildlings have this distinct look or way about them that, like, obviously is a tell. It gives it away that, oh, she's a wildling. So we'll just let her pass, I guess.
Yeah. Exactly.
But if it was somebody like Stir,
oh, he's eating that. He gets the baby back ribs.
right?
Oh my god.
So it's kind of funny that you guys say that because I watched the commentary today, and it was Michelle Clapton and a couple of the other more production side of things, the costume designer, the production set designer, and the photography designer, and they actually kind of questioned that too, of like, what were Ygritte's real intentions here? Is it just the kid thing, or is it also the recognizing the fellow wildling thing? And I kind of like that it's left a little bit ambiguous.
Yeah.
I think you end up with, we get a little bit of a soft spot from Ygritte, but there is the potential of maybe she realizes she's a wildling and same team, bro. Like,
All right, we ready to go to Castle Black for all the weeping in the morning? There is Gred, Ed, Pip, John, and Sam. They talk about the attack on Molestown and how 102 men are to stop 100,000. My numbers are off tonight, guys. A lot of guys against the little guys. So, Glenn, we'll let you start here, so nobody takes your ideas.
Sure. Yeah. A reading from the book of Leonidas. Turn to page 300. So yeah, this is definitely like shaping up to be a 300 type storyline, I guess. Just a lot of people versus hundreds of people, if that. I don't know. It just seems similar.
Benji.
I like Ed's line of, whoever dies last, be a good lad, and burn the rest of us. Once I'm done with this world, I don't want to come back. You can tell he's just like, he was beyond the wall with the fist, he was at Cresser's, he's like, I'm fucking done. Fuck this. Let him win. I don't give a shit. Just don't let me come back.
You win. Yeah, but like, I don't know, if you come back as like a zombie or whatever, like, do you have a conscience or anything like that? Or?
I mean, you have memories, because like that one went after Mormont, he knew specifically where to go, so I think there is some sort of semblance of, mentality there.
I don't know. Anybody want to tell me?
No.
Okay.
It's a good question, kind of
Yeah.
regardless. I mean, we've seen several different levels of what these quote unquote zombies could be, and obviously
Right.
pop culture has other ideas on what zombies are. And I think you're supposed to kind of, especially where you're at, Abby, as our first time watcher, I think you're supposed to kind of start questioning what can they do, what can't they do? Like, are these regular Walking Dead brainless zombies, or is there potentially something more? I think it's a good question.
And like, go on with your point, because that's what.
So they're kind of talking about, Sam gets into like, oh man, I fucking sent her there, and that was probably a bad call. Like he's kind of regretting that. And Game of Thrones Marie, Game of Theories with Marie in the chat was just kind of saying, stupid move by Sam to send her there, and I think he kind of feels that way in this scene. And Ed is like, dude, she survived the walk back from Craster's Keep. She fucking survived. She survived a White Walker, for fuck's sake. She might have got out. Like, of anybody that was there, she's seen some shit. She's, for like, battle proven kind of thing. Like
Most likely to handle herself.
yeah. And so, one,
She's a wildling.
I love
They're
Ed.
not gonna kill her.
I love Ed, and I like that he's the one that kind of brings it up. Is like, maybe she's fine.
Yeah. Has there been like up to this point a lot of like dialogue with Ed, or has it just kind of been like he's been one of the guys?
He's had a few scenes like with him and Sam on top of the fist. They're digging, and it's just like we dig shit over here, we dig shit over there. He's that very dry.
With that, my note here says either Ed or Gren has high praise for Gilly, because I don't know which is which.
Okay.
The rise
Like, I
of
know
the
one is
castle.
Ed, I know one is Gren, but for me, they kind of say funny things in the background,
Sure.
and I know they're important. It's not like they're just no, but I don't know how to differentiate them.
If
I
you're
guess.
seeing the screen right now, that's Gren.
He's got the beard.
He's got the beard.
Short
and,
hair,
and
beard.
right there.
It's very okay.
If
yeah,
I
okay.
drop the chat, it might help you out a little bit.
Ed.
No, you're good.
can
It's
see
just
the
kind
one
of
with
small
the
on my
long
side because I
hair.
got you half screened on my
Yeah.
own screen.
That's a great picture. That is Ed.
Ed's got the
That's
mullet.
Ed.
That's Dolorous Ed.
Gotcha.
Call it
So
Or as
yeah,
Roy Dochis, Dolores.
Dolorous Ed.
DeLorean.
DeLorean Ed.
Speaking of Westworld, no, let's not get into Westworld right now.
nope.
Let's go back to Eastworld.
Oh.
Anything else at Castle Black, gentlemen and Bailey?
No.
All right.
Gentle people.
Marine.
Jojen Train.
We have Grey Worm, Masandi, and Danny C. Just kidding, just Danny. So we have Masandi catches a spy in the bath, and Danny gives some counsel, and Grey Worm apologizes. Benji.
Did they take the pillar and the stones? That was very well phrased. It was a cute scene between the two.
Careful on these screen caps.
I know.
I like it. It's very careful.
I'm
So
No
I
nip
guess-
slips.
I guess for
Freudian nips.
the kids at home, I guess stones means the balls,
Testicles.
and then
the
pillar
waveless.
means the dong.
Penis.
Thanks for explaining that. Thank you. I understand now. I get that scene now. Perfect. I'm trying not to steal anybody's line here, but I thought it was really interesting that Danny just assumes that like all the Unsullied are not interested, or male. Yeah, I guess all Unsullied are males, right? Because
Yes.
they're the fighters. Yeah. Okay.
'Cause
So
you can't cut off anything.
That's not there.
I was gonna say that. Thank you.
well, I was thinking like Unsullied as the slaves, but they're a specific. Never mind.
Well
Anyways, but
You have to cut something off to become.
I just thought it was a
Unsullied.
little presumptuous of Danny to just think that, like, well, of course they don't have any interest. I mean, they have eyes.
Yeah,
And
but
emotions.
but they were
Yeah.
also trained, from young, infancy to not have emotions, to not care. And so that's what she was told, and so that it makes sense why she would think that way.
But she's just so like, no, you're gonna take your own freedom. You're your own person. You have your own voice. It surprised me that she wouldn't also think like their feelings get to be their own now too. Like that would start to, come up. I don't know. I just thought it was a little.
I mean, they could
different.
look at girls, right?
Or boys.
Yeah.
Or boys. Like it shouldn't be that big a deal. Like, I mean, obviously they think something's up. Oh, he's looking at a girl that's naked. Like, there's something wrong with that or whatever. I don't know.
It was just weird. I don't know. Go for it, Glenn, on your.
Sure. Talk about the first thing that may or may not come up.
Oh my god. Took me a minute. Oh.
We're all clipping out on my microphone. We just can't be as funny
Everybody calm
today.
down.
Too much laughter.
You're having too much fun.
So yeah, I guess let's talk about. I guess Grey Worm does come back and apologizes. Do you think he really needed to apologize? It just seemed like kind of like forced, like that's what the viewer wanted to happen, or the way they wanted to.
I mean, I think he did it because he realized that he made her uncomfortable. Like, he's trying to learn human emotions, and so he feels like he made her feel uncomfortable beforehand. So I think, it was justified on all ends.
I think it was the gentlemanly thing to do.
Yeah.
I mean, and regardless of what real intention he could have behind it, it's kind of the right thing to do, because clearly in his eyes she was uncomfortable because she ends up covering herself, if we go back to that screen cap, which is very, very tastefully picked by Ben.
Thank you.
I mean, her eyes right there is like she's questioning everything that he's seeing, and he kind of seems to regret that, and he just wants to show that he appreciates her as a person, and he's confused on
Right.
where he is currently.
Although, like, there's like a handful of other ones behind her that are also naked or whatever. Like
Them guys? Oh, sorry.
No, I couldn't get the other.
Oh, the other women?
Yeah.
There was no
There was a-
There was no
YouTube
clean
safe.
shots.
There were no safe shots.
Yeah.
But I don't the way it's shot, I guess, it makes it look like Grey Worm and Missandei, and that's it. Like, almost the other naked girls don't even matter because they're hiding behind Missandei's naked body.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be awkward to not say anything, to have your first conversation just be like some council meeting that you're going to. Oh, wait, I just saw you naked. You totally just checked me out. Better to,
You're naked.
have that
in the
conversation.
river.
You took a real good look.
You knew that there was guys over here.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, the group, they're not that far apart. It's kind of obvious, but I guess, yeah, just with the way.
I think it was just more the intention, the way.
well, and
he
also
looked
the
at
creepy
her.
predator style
The
of,
stare.
like, popping his head just out the water, eyeballs out the water. Just,
Like a hippo.
yeah.
We didn't get that picture, did we?
No, not
Do
quite.
you guys remember Ace Ventura?
Yeah.
The Nature Calls.
The hippo's having a baby.
He's spying on that guy. And he gets out of the water like a hippo.
All right, Bailey.
I think it's good
Go
that we
for it.
see Danny and Missandei bonding together. I don't think Danny's ever really had someone that she can just kind of girly gossip with. So it's kind of interesting to see their dynamic together.
Definitely not since Karth, right? I mean, she had those handmaidens, which, but
It
that's
was
been
more out of necessity.
right, and that was a little different than this because Danny has picked Missandei out of respect, not
Yeah.
out of like a sense of she was given them as handmaidens. Like
Yeah.
she chose her to be her right hand gal, for lack of a better
Well,
term, and
Danny is braiding her hair.
yeah, that was something
Well,
that
I
you
was wondering,
said.
like, did Danny, did Missandei teach her that, or is that something that Danny kind of just?
Maybe she used to
Right?
braid Viserys' hair, or her horse's hair, Silver.
Who knows?
Or Drogos.
Yeah,
Good
but actually,
point.
Yeah.
There
I think
there
that
was a scene where Danny was Yeah, working on, which is weird because the bells in his hair and his hair, his braid has never been cut. So
Braiding the new part, maybe? Like,
yeah, maybe. I don't know.
it grows out in his knee.
The nude.
The nuge, the nuge hairs.
All right, Luke, wrap us up here.
All right, we kind of touched on this at the beginning of the scene, but I like that Danny is learning a little bit more about the actual humanity of the Unsullied. Like, everything we've heard is these are basically robots that you can cut their cocks off, and you can cut them as standing there, you can cut their nipple off, and they're just emotionless without
What
feeling,
about the balls?
and you can cut their balls off too. The stones, if you will. And that might not be entirely the case. Like, they clearly are tough as fuck, but that doesn't mean they're still without feeling, and they still potentially need emotional growth, and they've never had the chance. So I think it's interesting that Grey Worm has given Missandei that idea, and that Missandei is translating that to Danny to start maybe learning compassion, that these are more than just nameless,
Dickless,
faceless, dickless, ballless, humanityless people. They are people still.
Yeah, agreed.
People now.
Well said.
People now.
People now.
All right, we're gonna go
People
see
person.
Barristan, Jorah, Danny, Grey Worm, and Missandei. Jorah receives his pardon. Barristan breaks the news, and Danny is down an advisor. Let's go with you, Benj.
The truth will set you free. And that's basically what he was going to hope for. He's like, I'm going to tell the truth. I'm telling you the truth. This is what I'm doing. I've always loved you and blah, 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 blah. Oh, fuck. That's pretty much where it boiled down to. He's just like, oh, fuck. And it's kind of, you know, he owned up to it. I give him credit. He didn't, ever deny it. He just tried to spin it in whatever way he could, and that didn't quite work out.
In the words of the not so great Tom Petty, he didn't back down.
Yeah.
No, he didn't. back down.
He won't.
He standed his ground.
He standed.
Standing his ground. Oh boy, Luke, talk about Barristan here.
So I really, really like that, in this screen cap that we have here, Barristan gets the information, and then as I walk through the valley of this screen cap set, I like that Barristan goes to Jorah first, and that Jorah doesn't really balk at that he's blatantly called out on his past indiscretions, for which he is already regretful about, and kind of hopes to ignore and or let it slide to continue.
So I'm fucked, right?
So I'm fucked, right? Like, he's hoping he can just kind of like get past that and like kind of make amends for a wrong that he is hoping she never finds out about, right? And in his head,
Sure.
he feels he's on this redemption path that she doesn't know about, because if I can get so far in the green, if and when she ever finds out about this bad thing that I've done,
It'll just be a hiccup.
that we're
Minor
cool.
hiccup.
Like, hey, like, hey, hey. So,
Roll a quarter at the jukebox and it starts playing.
Now, I do have a question to that, though. Why'd the kid give it to Barristan? Why was it sent to him?
ask Abby first.
Ab?
Because they knew Barristan. So, council meeting not too long ago, we know that everybody is told that Jorah's there, Barristan is there, and it's from the hand of the king. It's got that seal on it. So it is Tywin trying to get.
Well, but this was actually signed by Robert. This is actually back with
Ned, right?
Yeah, this is back with Ned, and in the first season, this was actually, and so that's my.
Well, it's a
thing.
kid. It's like a little bird.
The whore
so,
is pregnant.
but it isn't. I
Well,
mean,
that one whore doth Rocky Horde.
he's already gotten this pardon once.
No,
He never.
Yeah, he
res-
did.
he never.
He didn't receive it. Yeah.
It got lost in the mail.
What? No, that's not true, because he gets it and then he sees the wine merchant thing going on, saying,
So-
I've been pardoned.
So
Oh,
that
fuck.
that was
Somebody's trying
like
to poison her.
the promise of the pardon on its way.
Yeah.
It's about then that the pardon is signed. That's kind of the confirming thing that, hey, this is going to be a thing. Thank you for your help. It's on its way, but it never actually got there. and now this letter turns up via small boy.
Yeah.
Well, I
In
think
my
the
opinion,
council
to-
just went after it
Yeah, that's fair.
and found it.
Via
That's what
boy
I-
on screen.
Right, and if they send it to Jorah, he's obviously gonna light it on fire or something.
You're right. Or do a Cersei and rip it in half. Doesn't count.
Nope. Gone.
Fair.
I don't know. That just happened, guys. If I'm totally wrong, that's okay. I'll deal.
No, it's a
Uh,
fair miss because he definitely references that in that scene. He's like, we see him get that letter, and I think you maybe assume that's what it is, but
That's what I thought it was. Yeah.
and maybe we're all wrong. Maybe she's right.
Y'all need to catch up.
As
You're
possible. I'll drink.
drinking. Glenn, go ahead here.
Sure, yeah, this is just reminds me of like somebody that becomes famous or whatever, and then like people like are just looking at their Twitter accounts and stuff and just finding tweets from like 10 years ago of racist or homophobic stuff.
The
and
picture.
then, and then they're getting put on blast, hurting their reputation, just for something that they said is when they're in high school, maybe not matured enough or what have you. I guess the point to that was you always leave breadcrumbs, like wherever you go. And actually, if you ever there was that show I was watching, it was called like Wanted or whatever,
Yeah.
where it was they had all these like 2 people to a team. There's like I don't know 15 teams or something like that, but they gave you like 1,000. They gave you like 1,000, like $5,000, I think, in like a bank account, but you had to like evade the police for like a month.
Oh yeah,
Did
yeah.
you ever watch? Yeah. So
Okay, yeah, I do remember that.
you had to evade the, like, not get caught for like a month.
Yeah,
And
and you get
then-
like $100,000 or something
Right.
like that.
But they gave everybody like this 500, $5,000 like credit that you had to go like
yeah,
go to like the bank or ATM and like collect, I guess. But like, and a lot of people got caught because they go to the ATM and it like alerts them whenever the card goes through at the location and stuff like where they're at. So then boom, oh they're right there.
yeah.
At the Circle K. Yeah, we're gonna
It always comes back to the Circle K. That's why it's a circle.
Bailey.
So I think when Jorah's talking to Dany, you can tell that he regrets what he's done in the past, and he's changed a lot since he was a spy. And I understand why Dany has such a tough time seeing through everything that he did back then, but I think she makes her decision out of anger and in a rage.
Yeah. No,
I kept Bailey till the last year because this is the point that I don't like. I get that at that time she's angry, and I get being furious girl angry. Like, fuck you, you're dead, goodbye. But at the same time, I believe it's like last episode or so. Doesn't she talk about what Jorah used to be? Like, she knew he was a slaver. She knew that he did all these things, and she's like, but look at you now. You're helping me, right? This happened? True?
Yes, this
Yeah.
happened, and the main point she was getting at was that used to be you, and
Right.
now you're here helping me teach the slavers, helping me fight the slavers and teach them what that means, and yeah,
Her
no, that seems a
own-
little bit like an about face, right? Of
Yeah.
But here's this
And I-
piece of information, and oh, you suck.
but this
Yeah,
is the
like,
one thing that he's done wrong, and yeah, it's a big one. I mean, no fucking doubt, it's a big one. But I feel like slavery is kind of a bigger deal than one little betrayal. Like that literally led to nothing, and I don't know. She doesn't give a fucking chance to talk about it.
Yeah,
It's-
but it
No.
did lead to something because it led to an assassination attempt, which he did.
He
stop.
thwarted. She didn't give him
But
a chance to explain any of
Then,
this.
because of that, though, Drogo gets in his like fight where he gets the wound, where Mary Mazdor ends up betraying her, and the baby ends up dying. So I do think that there are like reasons as like a human who is angry when you hear this, like, wait, that was because you, and oh shit, and then all those things just flash through your mind. I can see the seeing red rage go away.
I see that. The thing that also came out of the wine merchant scene was Drogo declaring that he was going to take his Dothraki and go on the fucking boats and go across the sea to get her that throne for their son.
Yep.
So like that's a big positive moment that wouldn't have happened without the wine. Like, it's just you can't look at only the negative side of what came from that, and I feel like that's what Dany is doing a bit. She has to give Jorah a chance here at all.
Marie in the chat has a great point. Her rage is that Jorah endangered her child when she had been pregnant, because he did tell Varys that she was pregnant, which is what caused.
That is the one thing that she latches on, and that's fair.
Yeah. So I mean, that I will agree that that's the justifiable part.
I think at this point, like for Jorah, it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yep.
Like
He should have.
Well, if he
I
would've-
kind of thought.
if he would have told her earlier, like she would have probably been pissed off, as well. I guess maybe Barristan being there definitely hurts Jorah a little bit, just because he's making a big deal out of it. But
I just kind of thought she knew. I didn't even realize she didn't really know until right now, obviously.
you didn't know I thought I told you that.
No. Remember we were in Karth, like everything was cool.
I thought that
No,
was a
I
joke.
just
It was a
thought
joke.
like, oh, we're Team Dany now, and
Jorah
we
had
were
a
all
funny
cool.
joke.
I wrote about my journal. We laughed at it later.
All right, are we ready for Moat, Kaylin?
Yeah, Jojen train.
Right. So we have Ramsay, Reek / Theon,
Krennic.
sure, and the Ironborn. Theon treats with the remaining troops and gives the moat to Ramsay.
I think it's spelled troops wrong.
I didn't spell it, so
Did
that's
I?
cool.
Probably.
Isn't it to be 2
Yeah,
O's?
it's spelled like
Yeah,
an
that's right.
acting troupe.
Yeah.
All the acting
It's
troops.
the
Hey,
British
I read it
trope.
just
Adding
fine,
a
man.
different, adding a different vowel. It's the British way.
It's the Count Olaf troupe.
You go ahead, Bailey. You start us off here.
So we see Theon come out, but does Theon even know who the fuck Theon is anymore? Because he seems questionable. He seems like he has a really tough time trying to be who he used to be.
I don't want to be anything.
Trying to be.
Speaking of One Tree Hill. That kind of ties into yours, Luke. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of see Theon keep it together pretty well. Like, he does a good job at being Theon. And as soon as he really starts getting pushback from Kenning, yeah, not Krennic, it's Kenning, but and not a Krennic man. From it's so, but as soon as Kenning kind of stands up to him and he's like, you know what, fuck you, you're probably not him or whatever. Like, Reek starts to come through, like, and Reek almost
And
comes
he
through
mutters
here.
Reek a couple times.
He does, and Alfie Allen just fucking killing it. That's all I've got is that Reek kind of almost comes through, but still Theon holds true.
Yeah.
So crazy.
Luckily.
Glenn.
So Theon gave him an offer they couldn't refuse. So, yeah. So the other guys, I guess, because at this point, everybody there is kind of held up, and there's all kinds of bodies outside. There's all kinds of diseases running rampant, and they're just like beat to hell, just trying to, I guess, survive. And the one guy like gets Krennic, gets like all pissed off or whatever, and then the one guy, stabs him in the head like, yeah, we'll take that deal. Like, we want to get the fuck out of here.
We have some good pictures of that.
He doesn't
right?
speak for us.
And we see Danny on the pictures.
I got kicked out of the chat. Sorry, I'm
Too many hats.
Then
Thanks for realizing.
How about this Moat Kaelin when it just looks like
Yeah.
on the top of a hill or something?
I love the look of what they've done here.
King's Road goes right through it.
Let the bodies hit the floor.
It looks like there's a real drowning pool around it.
There's something wrong with me. 2, there's something wrong with me. 3,
I can't take this.
4,
tonight. Oh
something's
my
got to
God.
get out.
So, I know something's got to give.
Yeah, I thought it was
something's got to give, I think. Not get
Later
out.
on,
Is
it's something's got to get out.
So they get out later.
I believe you. I won't question
They
you.
give,
I just was wrong.
You get what you get.
At first they give, and then they get out.
Yeah, so you can see
Okay.
he's coughing and, like,
Wheezing.
yeah, you could tell he's on his last leg.
He's also a Pokemon, a coughing or a wheezing.
And there.
Binge.
Chunk.
Yeah, well, go one more
Chunk.
shot, Luke.
From the
God
Goonies.
damn it.
Okay, maybe not.
The truffle shuffle.
There! Because that ties into Luke's, or to Glenn's,
Yeah, the flayed man just looks disgusting,
yeah, and
that's it.
yeah, you didn't think I'd actually let them go, do you? You have to keep up with traditions. And in fairness, they're dying of fucking pestilence and everything. You're gonna let those guys go in the north to harm and infect the rest of your population that you're in control of? No, Theon did the right thing. Theon did nothing, or I'm sorry, Ramsay did nothing wrong. I'm standing
Except
by that.
play and kill people who
No.
he
He
promised.
had to. They were going
Let
like they're
go.
all infected. If he lets them go back towards the
So you're
coast,
saying he had to
he's
flay
gonna-
them
He
to,
didn't have to
to
flay
say
them.
you have to keep
you
traditions
have
alive.
to flay them.
Let
Damn
them
it,
go
Trish.
back to the Iron Islands. Well, they will infect everybody there, and there you go.
And there you go,
Biological
you-
warfare
But they're infected
over.
on the
You
way.
You're
No, they're not. They're
quarantined-
going right back.
quarantined all the way to the Iron Island. And
Just
then
wash your
run
hands.
wild.
They'll be
See,
fine.
they're all
Let
just
'em go.
getting buckbeaked on
Yeah,
the
they're getting
way.
buckbeaked left and right.
Yeah.
Alright.
We have to flay them so we can stop the spread of the disease.
This Red
Cut
Dead
it right
Redemption.
Dead Red. All right, so are we ready to go on to? Oh, we're going to Microfinger.
Nope.
Is confronted? No.
Nope.
Nope,
Nope,
another
nope. Here we go.
recency.
I see.
Recent.
Ramsey. So Reek Roos Ramsey. Ramsey gets a geography lesson, a new name, and a new home. How could we forget this scene? This was almost nice. So, Luke, go ahead.
The Lion King of the North, right? I mean, this is very similar to a scene with Simba and Mufasa. I think most of us are pretty familiar with from the 1994 Disney film, The Lion King.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Right, and
That's
Tim
the
Allen.
one.
Matthew Broderick.
Tim Allen.
This is Home Improvement.
Oh. But yeah, so like,
Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
yeah, right, yeah.
Pink pajamas,
Sounds
penguins on the bottom.
Right? I was saying that
Yeah.
we've been watching that in the house here for the 4-year-old that lives here.
Yeah.
Not on screen tonight. But so we have the very similar scene of everything that you see, my son, is ours, except for that piece of shit dark town over there. We don't talk about that.
What is that? That's the Iron Island. We
You
don't
must
talk about that.
No, that's Illinois. We don't talk about that.
Oh,
Anyway, that's
boy.
all I really got here.
That's funny. Ben, go ahead.
I dare any one of you fuckers to call Ramsay a bastard now. That's all I can say. He is Lord Ramsay Snow.
Challenge accepted. Glenn.
Yeah, have we talked about is this where Roos is like, now like we can enter the north or whatever? Where it seems like it's not that big of a deal if you just kind of just go north. 'Cause it seemed like they had to get Mokalan and then like everything just snowballs from there. Like
I mean, even Roos had to smuggle himself into his own lands,
Yeah,
right?
around Mokalan.
Yeah, because of Mokalan being held by the Ironborn.
Yeah, because it's
Right.
at the neck, or it's at the pinch of the neck, and so nothing can cross
but I
without
mean,
their
it just
approval.
seemed like they're hunkered down in Mokalan in that hill village or whatever. And I
Yeah.
don't know, can't you just ride past it?
Can you just can we just go around?
Skip
It,
it.
Go
it's
ahead.
surrounded by bogs and
Can't go over
the bog
it.
monster.
Let's go
Here.
through it.
Yeah.
Somebody go back and get a shitload of dimes.
The town is a fake. We've been suckered.
we've been suckered in.
Bailey, I feel like we're going right to your point here.
So I've decided the north is basically like Texas. Just keeps going in every direction. You can keep driving and driving, and you're never out of Texas.
We're still in Texas.
I've never been to Texas.
It's big.
Fun fact.
Yeah, and that's kind of true, like, and that's why I added that note in there of a geography lesson, because you learn that the North is bigger than all other 6 kingdoms or areas.
Yeah, everything combined.
Yeah, combined, but it's the least densely populated.
Yeah, there's nobody there.
There's no.
So
like,
I would say it's more the
resources.
Alaska.
no
You know,
resources.
It's more the Alaskas. There's no one there, but it's a shit ton of room.
Actually, did you
Oh,
hear?
man.
I think Alaska was one of the last places that had blockbusters.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. There's
And-
one still
Are they
there's one still operational in Anchorage.
Are they starting to
There
shut
was, like-
down now?
There was like 1 or 2 that shut down, but I think there's, I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 that are still up. But
Gotta watch the show about the last Alaskans or whatever it is. Man, I think it's on History Channel. Taking away people's land. It's so terrible. Anyways, more on that later.
Abby, get on your soapbox real quick.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I just came upon. I'm like, I don't even know how this is possible, but apparently it is.
Well, it's not history, so it should be on the History Channel.
It's gonna be history, I guess. I guess that's how they get away with it. So now, are we ready to go to the Eyrie/Vale?
As long as we take a Jojen train, I'm in.
All right.
I'd rather
Next
take a
up.
Jojen plane.
Jojen hang glider.
So we have Microfinger, Sansa. We're gonna call him Royce and
Jan.
Jan Wayne. I just want to call her Wainwright. I don't really know.
Wainwood. Anya Wainwood.
Yeah, sure. There we go. So Microfinger is confronted by the Lords of the Vale, and Sansa comes to his defense. And Microfinger plots to send Robin on a trip. Surprise, surprise. Robin is going away. Sorry. Soapbox there. Glenn, go ahead.
So I think defense was spelled wrong as well. Not a big deal.
Yep.
So this is
Yet again, was drunk.
this is your meeting of the Bobs, if you will. Like Microfinger is basically on blast, and then Sansa comes in, saves the day, kind of tips the scales in the other direction with her confession. And I thought it was just funny how that like just kind of went down. Like Microfinger is just like on the chopping block, and then Sansa comes in and it just totally like turns it around on its head.
They got me. I was got.
Yeah.
I was got good on that one. I had no idea. She's like, I even think maybe the last preview for the last episode
Mm-hmm.
we watched, there's like on Game of Thrones, whatever. It's like, I have to tell them the truth. And I'm like, oh shit's gonna get real. And then we see this, and I'm like, wow, not what I was expecting. Go ahead, Ben.
Well, with this, I love the subtleties in this scene. How you can see they work together, and how she's like, and she's not such a stupid little girl anymore. She's getting it. She's understanding. She's learning how to play with the Microfinger. But
Use that Microfinger to your greatest advantage.
She plays him, even though like she ends up helping him out.
oh yeah,
I mean, he's nervous.
because she knows.
Oh, shit.
Well, she knows. Yeah, he now owes her. First of all, so she has him in her back pocket. But excuse me. With it, how she
There they are.
Now we're in the right scene.
Fucking remind me, okay? God damn it.
I wasn't even looking on that one.
Remember when I was hosting and I would say G?
It was to help you out.
But yeah,
Try, folks.
this is a little different than book-wise, but I do like this adaptation. This is very well done for consolidation, taking out a couple parts that were present, because in the book she came in, he knew what she was going to do. I feel that he knew she was going to come in, say, they had worked it out. This, yeah, Microfinger didn't know. He was completely shocked because when she said, I have to tell the truth, he's like, oh, fuck.
Oh, god damn it.
Oh, fuck.
All right,
I'm
take
sorry.
me away.
Fuck.
All right, Lukey.
So, Microfinger kind of says sometimes sickly boys become powerful men, and he's trying to encourage Robin to leave the nest, but it also feels like Microfinger is also somewhat talking about himself, coming from being at least weak and poor, and he clearly we know he kind of got his ass handed to him by Brandon Stark when he was younger. So I feel like he's kind of putting himself in that same kind of comment, double meaning of sickly boys could raise to power. Look at me, and hopefully I can get Robin out of the way for a while and use that as a reason for them to kind of believe him here.
Yeah.
And Bailey.
So it's really good to see someone call Microfinger out on his shit. I really like the line, "You've licked Tywin Lannister's boots for so long, I'm surprised your tongue isn't black."
Like a giraffe.
Oh, that was purple.
Yeah, it is.
Hey, April the giraffe is pregnant. Can't wait till next whenever. And I can watch her for a month, try to wait for that baby again. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be great. That's what I'll be doing. I'm booked. So we now have Sansa and Microfinger. Trust and wants is the description of this
It was a short scene,
Scene.
so it was.
scene footage to those scenes.
Yeah, so
Bench.
Microfinger has the line, "Better to gamble on the man that you know than the strangers that you don't." You know, it's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. Go with, the evil you know, instead of just trying something random. So, I mean, it was a well played scene on both ends.
Yep. And Bailey.
Microfinger didn't like being surprised by Sansa, and you can really tell that in this scene. He kind of is almost putting her in check.
Yeah. Luke.
It's interesting to see that Microfinger didn't know that Sansa was going to help him. Again, coming from the book perspective, it's a little bit more leaning towards their kind of setting these things up together. And yes, the show's consolidating a few of these things pretty rampantly. And I like what it does for Sansa's characterization.
Yeah.
To let her kind of make the choice herself.
Exactly.
And he clearly seems actually surprised by her reaction during the meeting with the Lord's Declarant
Yeah.
of the Vale. So pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, no, definitely. And then, her final line is,
My man.
I know what you want, and so...
Oh, do you?
Exactly. And even he was like, "Zip? No, okay, that's not what you mean." Okay. But, it's one of those of... it's interesting. She's starting to learn the game and learn how to play it and what she needs to do.
Yep. Sorry, I think I want to... Yep, next scene is with them is what I'm thinking of. Anyways, so we'll go with Sandor and Arya. Ooh, I do like that we have Sandor in here now. I don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah. I did make that
So,
change. Technically,
I
I
like
think she's incorrect. She was incorrect until later on, but...
We've made points about that. So
Yeah.
watch back to our season 7 discussions.
Yes. So, but...
No spoilers. No, he dies in season 4.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. So the pair make it to the gates of the moon and get some news about the family. I'm gonna go with you, Luke, because that's my whole thought of this entire scene.
Oh yeah, what did I say? No, this comes kind of at the very, very end. Arya fucking cracks. This is her breaking point, right? I mean, she's just cool with everything. She's kind of giving the hound some shit on the way up, and then she hears, "Oh, your aunt's dead."
3 days ago.
Just fucking loop. And her headphones fall off, and it's just great for TV. It's great for podcasting. And this is finally that breaking point that we know she's been Breaking Bad towards. You know, I don't get the reference because I'm the only one who hasn't seen the show. But
Out of the entire fucking country.
Eisenberg.
no. But
You're the one person in the world.
Los Pollos Hermanos. That's all I. But like we've seen her go through these really, really difficult emotional struggles, and it's like these are gonna break anybody. The shit that she's gone through, and like this is kind of finally that straw that breaks the camel's back.
Yeah.
I just thought she thought it was absolutely hilarious. He wasn't getting what he wanted.
And that's
I
a good
just
point
thought
too.
it was, like that's just how I took it. Like she's like, oh shit. Not just even like, you know, we have gone all this way. We have done so many things, them together, just specifically them together, and he's just not gonna get his money.
Yeah.
This
Well, he got
like-
his fucking money robbed from him by the people who had her in the first place. You know?
as my children like to misuse the term classic. You know, just
Classic.
they're like, Mom, what does that mean? I'm like, you know, just something that I don't know. And they're like, oh man, grilled cheese, classic. I'm like, okay, great.
Well, this is
So, go for it, Glenn.
this is the second time you see like him getting at the goal line, if you will, and then just not being able to punch it in because of people dying and shit like that.
At the 1 yard line.
This is a bit like a goal line punt though. Like he's just like, I'm fucking done.
But yeah, he does like it's pretty cool as they're like walking up to the gate, I guess. He says poison, they're in reference to Joffrey, I guess. Poison is a woman's weapon, and like this, like the back and forth between the two, and then the Hound says, you know, family honor and all that horse shit.
Yeah.
It is so funny. But in the end, like, he's just like, God, you gotta be shitting me. Like,
I like that Arya says something. I'd kill him with a turkey bone or
I think
chicken
it's a chicken
bone.
bone.
yeah.
Pretty awesome.
But at the same time, look at how like people are after him now.
Yeah.
Trying to get the bounty on him, and he's having to like deal with that. And he's hoping he can get a little coin or whatever, and then just kind of go somewhere and just like disappear. But
And he just
instead,
gave him their true name.
right?
So,
Here with my traveling companion, Arya Stark.
go ahead.
Yeah, mine kind of goes right along with Glenn. It's, you know, the Hound's face is just, this shit again? Are you serious? We're almost there? So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So mine, I have a few things on this scene because this is absolutely my favorite scene. Just one of my favorite scenes of the entire season. But first, them bonding over wanting to see the look in the eye of the dying. You know, he's like, you like that look. You're watching for that. And Arya's like, yeah, I kind of wanted to see that.
And he's like, that's the fucking best.
you see the lights go out. Yeah. And then, but then I just can't help but laugh along with Arya. Her laugh is so infectious. It's so like it's just so funny because like Luke said, she's cracked. She's fucking nuts. And she just
Where's that face at?
she's
Right
done.
I
there.
like it.
Yeah.
Ah,
That's where it's like,
And
It's hilarious.
See Sandra, he's just like, what? Oh,
Oh,
fucking
God.
Christ.
are you
Stuck with
shitting
this
me?
kid.
no.
But go to my last point on this, as Marie in the chat pointed out too. You would think they would send word up to the Eyrie, you know, to say, "Hey, Baelish, her niece is here. Maybe you might want to, bring her up." And Tyra might be like, "Yeah, I could probably
Well,
use that.
can we use the bathroom?
Yeah. you got a place I can take a shit? Yeah.
I gotta make a phone call. It'll be 2 minutes.
Oh, Sansa, how are you?
So that's one part of this scene that never really did make sense. Is at least send word up. There's people up there.
So something we really haven't touched on is this is the closest these two sisters have been to
Yeah.
each other, unbeknownst to both of them.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those narrow misses, narrow C
Well,
misses.
I don't think a lot of people know that Sansa's there.
Right.
Necessarily.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
like I
I-
said, neither one of them know that the other one's that close, but like geographically,
No, I was
mean-
saying the people at the Vale don't know that Sansa
Right.
is Sansa.
Yeah.
right? Agreed.
Or no?
Agreed. Yeah, no, only
Up until that meeting.
Right,
Yeah,
until
and that's
she
what-
basically
there's literally
was
4
seen
people
for-
on the bail, or 5
There
people
was- yeah.
technically that know.
But none of these people.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, these jabronis,
Schmucks.
schmuckles.
All right, are we ready to move on to Sansa in that killer dress?
Oh yeah, we are.
All right. So we have Microfinger, Robin, and Sansa. Microfinger encourages Robin to wander, and Sansa gets a new presence. That
And-
dress, though.
Yeah, that was the wording I wanted. Thank you. It wasn't present, misspelled. It was presence.
No, I just questioned what that means. A new presence.
Like a new way to carry herself.
New aura.
Oh.
Presence. Got it. Hey, I just read what was there. You're lucky. My reading skills suck, so you're lucky that happened.
My spelling skills suck, so I wanted to make sure I
There you
could be called out that way.
Go for it, Benj.
People die at dinner at the dinner table in their bed, squatting over their chamber pots. Don't worry about your death. Worry about your life. Yeah, Robin probably should worry about his death. Just with the way he's been handled, there might be a reason he needs to worry.
Well, now, yeah, both of his parents are dead.
You know, and he's sickly and
Right. He doesn't have a boob to.
nah,
A boob to lay on.
doesn't have a tit to suck on.
But Microfinger doesn't really want just the veil. He wants more than that. But controlling Robin might come in handy later on. I don't know. Anyways, Bailey, you got something on this?
I love Dark Sansa. I feel like we're really gonna see something interesting coming from her, and this whole new look is a good look for her.
Oh yeah. She looks good in black. I like it a lot. And oh, Luke, go for it.
Right along with that, come to the dark side. We have lemon cakes.
It's like.
It's just great. Like she looks fucking phenomenal. Like
Yeah.
look at the fucking theta design that she's got going there. It reminds me a bit of some of the early on geometrical symbols we've seen in other places that haven't been that prevalent. But I just wonder, like, did she just like find this in Liza's stuff?
Well,
Is this
so
stuff
in the
that she had?
commentary, they're talking about this is something that Sansa actually makes for herself. She's taking and putting this together with things that she's found around.
Right.
Yeah,
So
and this
she's-
is when Baelish comes into the room.
Right.
That's what she's.
She's
Yeah,
going
she's
through
sewing.
going through
Yeah.
a phase.
Yeah,
I know what you want,
it's her emo punk phase.
and
All girls
She
have
rocks
them.
it.
and I.
Okay.
This fucking microphone. Sorry, guys.
Repeat that less enthusiastically.
And I fucking like it. That sounds way too
So you said
creepy.
Creepy.
So
That
you
is
said
creepy.
you said come to the dark side. We have lemon cakes. Is that not exactly what happened in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe? Whatever. The whatever new ice bitch gives the,
Ice bitch.
Yeah, Glenn, you were
gives the
right.
kid. I don't know if it's lemon cakes. but
If
some
it's not
kind-
lemon cakes, then
some
it's not
kind of
exactly the
pastry
same.
or whatever.
Isn't it
The middle,
Turkish
the
delight?
middle brother.
Turkish delight.
I think so.
Yeah.
When she gets the middle brother to go.
Right.
Yep.
I'm not a C.S. Lewisman.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I read it when
You're
I was
not
like,
a Tumnusman.
I am a
I-
Tubnisman. I'm Mr. Tubnisman.
I watched the play Incarnate Word.
I'm not a Prince Caspian man.
What did I send? I sent you a Tumnus thing or whatever on Twitter or something. What was that about? Do we remember?
Good call. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. We'll backtrack and find
That
it.
note, we will go to King's Landing, right? Yes, with Tyrion and Jamie. Aww. So they talk of king slaying and Beetleside.
Be aside.
Beetle aside.
Sure, beetle killing.
Beetle aside.
Beetleside. Go for it, Glenn. You can go right along with that.
So like, there's this big story about the Beatles, but then like in the end, like, we never hear about why, like what about the Beatles or whatever. Like we never get closure for this story. It's
What was his findings?
right.
Like what? Yeah.
Like he couldn't
Things.
like figure out 100% like why he was doing it. He was just
Cousin Orson. You know.
Orson Welles
Yeah.
Lannister.
All right. So, yeah, it was the strange things people talk about on death row. I don't know. Weird. Benj.
So Tyrion was obsessed with why Orson smashed the Beatles. I'm obsessed to find out why David and Dan would think the scene was needed. There was so much other material they could have used or done, even including Tyrion. But they went with a fucking random beetle-crushing cousin, slower than Hodor.
Kechung.
And yes, it was funny. It was well delivered and well done by Peter Dinklage. Don't get me wrong. He had some great facial features, and it was funny. But, oh my fucking lord, it was 7 minutes. And that was 7 minutes that could have easily been used for something else. So I'm leaving it at that.
Well, if they would have used it for something else, we would have to pick a different title for the episode.
This is true.
Luke. Looking ferocious over there.
I have to send a message to Mary B real quick before I open this can of whoop ass.
Okay. What about you, Bailey? Are you whooping ass over there? You got a comment?
No ass whooping here. Oberyn believes in himself. That's putting it mildly. So I think that kind of describes how the rest of the whole episode goes.
Yep.
Open this can of whoop ass. Okay, so Benji is over there really not loving the Orson stuff, and I think this is kind of a really unique scene that we get. Obviously, Tyrion on death row again, kind of, and we, first off, wine always helps. So cheers to that. Man, cans do not tink that well. We have to finish that tonight. That was here from last week. But holy shit,
Aged.
the kind of existential philosophy of the Beatles as a meta-analysis on the political warfare of Westeros, and as a representation of Tywin's detachment.
Update. It was almost done.
It was almost done. As so it's kind of a meta-analysis on the political warfare in Westeros, and also as a representation of Tywin's detachment and cunning.
Mm-hmm.
This is a big thing. I mean, this is kind of a hidden soliloquy, an epitaph that Tyrion is having on his
You're just
potential.
making up words, I
I'm
think.
just, I am. I took one poetry class
Soliloquy.
before, and so I'm just throwing out fucking
A
words.
monkey leaf.
No, but like this is the chance that he's got to kind of solve this thing in his head that he's always been confused by, and for us, the viewer, if you're looking at it in symbolism, thank you, LML,
Symbology.
or the symbology of it, there's a lot to unpack here, and it's not worthless. It's maybe a little bit long. I agree. It's maybe a little bit long. We do get everybody Wang Kechung tonight out of this, which is cheers to that as well. I think it's a wonderful scene, and I like that Tyrion still doesn't know the answer to it, because sometimes you don't get the answers.
And that's fair. And here's the thing. I will come back with a rebuttal to your rebuttal, or to your thing. I don't disagree with you. Reading your points there and, looking into it a bit deeper, you're not incorrect about all of that. I'm not that fucking smart. And this kind of stuff, I read the books on a cursory level. I understand the scenes, and I don't look too much deeper into it. I watch it for that. So when they're cutting out other things to have this meta speech, it bothers me.
Meta world.
Now, I'm not
peace.
saying it's wrong. I'm just saying, me personally, I don't get it. And there was so much other shit that they could have done with that 7 minutes. And that's just where I'm going.
Add a rebuttal to the rebuttal to the rebuttal. Without this kind of stuff, it's not George R. R. Martin's story at all. Because you have to have this, and they skip out on so many of those types of elements that this is one of the few times, and this is not from the book. Not point by point, at least, and some people don't like the bug talk, but I think it plays a bigger picture, and this is, again, final words. Do you have any famous, last words?
Yeah.
And Tyrion is using this for just his brother, the one person in the world that he actually cares about and trusts, as his epitaph.
I think if you don't think too much about it, it's just their last conversation together or whatever, and just trying to reminisce about something.
Get your mind, and that's
Right.
valid too. Get your mind off it. Here's a mundane detail to
Well,
talk
this
about.
is not a Monday detail, Michael.
The guy made $1 million.
So, like I said, is it the absolute worst scene? Am I less pissed about it this time through? Yes. So first time through,
No, I fucking hate this scene. What are you talking about?
first time through, I fucking despised it. This time through, it's like, all right, I can get through it. And I see your points, and so I'm not saying it has loosened a little bit, but I'm still sticking with my later note. So
Fair.
Let's go with Bailey's second point there as our final closer here.
That's a lot of different sides that they talk about.
Right.
There's so many sides
Yeah,
to this.
they
There's
talk
a lot
about
of
regicide,
sides.
fratricide, filicide, nepoticide, matricide, patricide, and there
there's
may
nothing
have
for
been
cousins.
there's nothing for cousins.
All right, are we ready for final scene?
Oh boy, howdy are we?
There's one of them
We have one
in
of them.
every episode.
Every show.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Final scene.
And for Abby.
And cheers. And cheers.
And
to
for the chat.
Oh,
Chitty chat.
Good grief, this microphone.
Darn you.
All right. Final scene. We have Tyrion, Jaime, Tywin, Cersei.
Ilaria.
Thank you. GBP, Varys, Oberyn, the Mountain. The Viper versus the Mountain.
Oh.
Moving on to the
Oh.
slides.
Gotcha.
Oh, these were the scenes,
Yeah,
the scenes from last scene.
I had some actually good ones in this one. Did you get that one? I love that picture.
Good you.
Good you.
Everybody weighing Kechung
A day
Kechung
late,
tonight.
day late, $1 short. We're gonna talk about fucking meta world peace and political warfare.
And a beetle.
Anybody wanna kick it off here tonight?
Yes.
Go ahead, Luke.
So throughout this fight, I'm gonna turn this up and hopefully I don't get too excited. I'm glad they include the jumping spear thrust with the sun behind Oberyn here. Again, reference.
Oh my God. The sun was out.
Should I just leave?
I'm
Do you-
glad they did this where the sun was behind.
In the daytime.
So you can see the sun representing.
Luke, I'm interested in hearing. Please continue.
I know Abby's
Sorry.
interested.
I'm sorry.
There's a reason I'm saying this. God damn it. So I'm gonna reference again Lucifer Means Lightbringer, his 5th episode ever, his 5th podcast episode. It's all about the Mountain and Viper fight, and there's a lot of symbolism for Oberyn acting as the eclipse for the sun, striking the killing blow. It's one of the dragon techniques. That's how a lot of the dragons fight. You get in the sun and make a dive towards other dragons, reference Dance of the Dragons and things like that. I mean, I'll fuck off from here, but so check out his episode in April of 2016, and fuck you.
Fuck you.
Interesting.
It's very interesting.
Interessante.
was a
It
ni-
is.
Nice day.
I'm glad
out.
I'm glad you shared that with us, Luke.
Sunny
On to the
day.
next. Glenn, rebuttal.
So at this point, like the Vipe, which I think they don't reference him as the Viper really until this episode, right? Or is it?
No. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but no.
There was one point early on where they called him the Viper of Dorne. There was
Yeah,
one time
the very
reference.
first
I think
episode,
right when
like-
why would the Red Viper of Dorne be here? And that was just episode 1. The his first
Yeah,
episode.
right before Tyrion meets him in the
Yep.
brothel.
The brothel.
Like when he
Exactly.
stabs him at the.
Okay.
When
Yeah.
Pod's doing the
At any rate, like he just kind of wears him out a bit, and then once he kind of gets the upper hand, kind of hits him a couple places, kind of stabs him. He just like toys with him, and like justice could have just been killing him, but like he wanted the confession really bad, and that turned out to be the death of him.
Yeah, very true.
Long story short, he killed him.
Oh man, the whole time I'm sitting there watching him, I'm like, just kill him. Just kill him. I love
Should have got off the pot.
I love the You raped her, you murdered her, and you killed her children.
I mean,
Hello, my
yeah.
name is Antonio.
Yes!
It was very
Inigo,
compelling the
Antonio.
way they did it, but
Yeah.
at the same time, like, just
do it.
kill him and then,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
done.
Or, you know what?
I liked it.
Right through the leg.
Vengeance.
You know, through the leg, into the fucking concrete.
Cut his arms and legs off.
You get the femoral artery, you get it like a couple minutes, but he can't get up. Like, yeah, come on.
No dead
You got a
squire.
couple minutes to talk.
I did
Yeah.
notice, or unless I missed it, the mountain doesn't kill the random fucking squire standing there.
No, what he does is break one of the spears.
Yeah, that's it. It's like, you know, because fine, yeah, bookways. But that was also a great scene. Oberyn just ducks out the way and wham, right in the shoulder of a squire. I was like, fuck, I forgot that wasn't in there on this. My only note is probably the best one-on-one fight scene we've seen at all. The Hound,
Barrack Hound
Barrack
in the
Hound
cave is
is-
pretty damn good.
is a good one. I mean, we don't get very many one-on-ones.
don't know.
Bronn and Sir
Vardis Egan.
Yep, there you go. Thank you.
Vardas.
It's a good one.
They
It
fought-
Is
doesn't
that
even
really
fought
like
with
all
honor.
the one-on-ones, though?
That's there's only been a handful of one-on-ones.
Bronn and Jamie.
Yeah.
When he slaps him with his own hand, that was pretty classic.
Like, while we're on the Braun
From
thing,
Fancy
he,
Lad
he
School.
totally predicted this, though, right?
Yeah, you have to dance around him, but he gets one.
He gets one. He gets the upper hand. Like, I'm
It's
done.
over. It's over like
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, Luke, you can keep going to the photos there, because there's some more.
You do
I-
it.
Bailey, go with your thoughts here.
So Tyrion with his "you could at least wear a helmet" comment. I feel like he's onto something.
A helm.
Too soon, Bailey. Too soon.
Oh yeah.
At least for me.
Oh yeah. Did they tell?
Years for you.
Also, did they tell you who I am? Some dead man. Fucking man.
Some
God
dead man.
Damn right, Gregor. Abby, do you have thoughts on this scene?
It was a little intense. It was a little intense. I really thought he was going to get him. Like, at first, I was just nervous because of the fight. And then I felt like everything was going good. And then was progressing. And he wasn't killing him. And then it's the last scene right before he, last shot right before he dies.
Yeah.
And you get that final of him laying on the ground with his head. Like, that is gruesome.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
all the things I have seen on Game of Thrones or just like in general on TV, we'll say, that one was really not like too hard for me, but like I was just like, holy,
that one
like,
there.
Yes, that one.
I think this is like the one death on TV that I've ever like cringed at and had to look away.
See, that shot to
Yeah.
me doesn't bother me as much as
The
this
finger,
one.
That one's the one.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is the because you can see the
I
head
gouged
start
his teeth
to.
hurt
knocked
really
out.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That doesn't. It's that one where
And
he's
then I
on the
smashed their head in like
ground.
this.
Just like
Yeah.
Orson.
Just like Kechung,
What an
Kechung.
Orson move.
Kechung.
Everybody weighing Kechung for Oberyn tonight.
And like for me, like this was one of those moments in the series where, kind of like the Red Wedding, where, like I didn't see that going the way that went. You know, I didn't expect that.
It's definitely a pretty big surprise. Like, and you see the fight going, and it's one of those classic kind of goes back and forth. The hero in this case is Oberyn, is kind of losing a little bit here and there, but he's kind of holding his own, and then he gets that upper end, you know, and
Yeah.
he finally makes that fucking killing
Right.
blow.
And for Tyrion, like you saw that right there with it, like his expressions throughout this whole thing are just like,
Are my expressions.
all
throughout
right,
this
like
whole thing.
we're gonna do this, I think.
And then somebody had this note too, where I thought of Tyrion or of Jamie and Cersei's looks after. Like I love the
Jamie?
like all three of these. You have first Cersei, then Tyrion. Oh come on, tell me I got the other ones.
Well, and at first when
Guess
it
not.
looks like the mountain is dead, and Jamie is like, "Oh, I'm excited," and he's
Like
got
that
this.
smile from
Yeah.
that
Jamie.
that real quick smile,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's like, yes. I love that.
And then things
Oh.
turn so quickly.
So like here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's
Huh.
like, he's kind of showing
Alright.
his kind of true feelings of, because
Yeah,
he's doing
'cause
that
you're-
completely unintentionally.
Yeah.
Jamie's like, wow, this might go
Oh, thank
Tyrion's
goodness
way.
my
Like, I
brother's
did
not
not
gonna
think this
die.
was going to happen.
Yeah.
He's
Like-
like watching the Super Bowl,
'Cause, yeah,
like,
this is
and
this
his
part
team
here,
shouldn't win,
so-
and oh my god, they're winning. All right, let's bust out the buffalo dip because it's gonna be a good game.
No, you
And smiling.
you bust out the buffalo dip before the game, I think.
Yeah.
It'd be like
Well,
if the
I
Browns
mean, this
ever
was
won.
the second batch. Stay
Did you
away,
hear the
batch.
Browns? Like they have, not to like talk about the Browns, but
That's the podcast that talks about the Browns.
sure, but they have like I don't know, like a dozen bars in like Cleveland that they have like a cooler that's locked up until the Browns win a game, and then everyone
never
gets
gonna open.
access to the cooler, grab a beer.
That's awesome,
It's never gonna happen.
So
but it's still cool.
Mary B is referencing the screenshot that Benji has pulled up here right now, and like, holy cow! Like, Ilaria's scream
Yeah.
when she
Oh,
sees
yeah.
the head fucking pop
Right,
is
and she's wearing brown, so she's a Browns
so
fan.
clearly from Cleveland, and probably a Manziel fan if I'm gonna guess. But like and there's even like when she actually like sees it and her face just falls, and it's great acting. I mean,
Yeah.
this actress fucking kills it right here.
Yeah, and I'm gonna shout out Pedro too on the fight. He did most of the bow action and everything, even though
And they actually killed him.
They actually smashed his head. Yeah, way to go.
Commitment.
He killed it.
he's a
He
method
really
actor.
laid his life out for
Yeah.
this scene.
But
All right,
actually,
guys.
everything apart from the jump spins, everything else you see, that's all Pedro doing, and he only had like a week to learn.
To spin.
Yeah,
So my only final comment on this scene, and then I'll let Abby wrangle us in and take us away. At the end, the mountain says Elia Martell. In the book, it's Elia of Dorne. And for me, as an audiobook listener, it just always stuck with me the way Roy Detrice says, Elia of Dorne, and then his head explodes. It's just, for me, it falls a little bit flat because there's like 2 lines after that. He like completely confesses, I killed her, and I raped her, and I killed her children, and then I blew her head up like this. Like, do that, but then just like lead in with the, like, finish with the name of Elia of Dorne. Like, it seems like if they would have rearranged that a little bit,
yeah.
it could have fit for at least me, the semantic book reader.
Well,
Agreed.
let's go back to that.
This one.
Because then he just like kind of rolls over and
Yeah.
like, all right, I'm taking
Yeah.
a nap.
And just like the final thing is Elia of Dorne, and it's just the thunderous voice. And the Hafthor, Julius Bjornsson, did a great job with the voice. I mean, I think he does. I think it's just the writing I would have been happier with being a little bit closer to the book on this one.
Like, how about this scene here? Because whenever Oberyn like declares Tyrion's champion, like you it's one of those you're built up so high, and then you're like, oh man, that's awesome, and then like this happens, and it just like brings you back down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crushing. It
Right.
really was.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not expecting it, it's a red. This is definitely a Red Wedding esque.
This scene is literally crushing.
Yeah,
Abby
you know.
said it best.
Oberyn should have just quit while he was ahead, or still had a head.
Well done, Ab. I did.
Abby,
Oh.
Abby, the best jaded first time watcher ever.
I didn't even mean it that way, which is the best part.
So,
Don't
this is so crushing. This really deflated my emotions.
Oh,
It really
I
popped
didn't even know how
my
funny it was. No,
expectations.
It
I'm
just
so
spills
really
its
mad.
emotions all over the floor.
Oh, gosh. Get out of here. All right. Let's go to the episode title accuracy. Mountain and the Viper.
Yep.
Accurate.
Yep.
Everybody say yes.
Yep.
It's the
It's
same
a-
thing
it's
we
a
were
big
talking about
scene.
last time. Of they're picking one thing, and this is a huge scene.
This is
one.
better than last time, though, because
Yeah.
Mockingbird, they didn't even address it. Like, in this episode, there's like that one swooping up camera shot of Microfinger, and it's like, oh, there's the Mockingbird pin
Yeah.
right on his. Like, why don't you just do like one
There
thing
it
like that
is.
the episode before?
Yeah.
I thought they did.
No, they really didn't. They didn't focus on it at all. And
I had no
Just
idea
gotta-
that's what he was called.
see, that's proof.
Yep. All right.
'Cause
So
I think you're right. 'cause I think I
description-
have
accuracy. We have Molestown
Oh.
received some unexpected visitors. Littlefinger's motives are questioned. Ramsay attempts to prove himself to his father, and Tyrion's fate is decided. Check, 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 check.
He attempts to
Well-
prove himself to his father.
Eh,
Yeah, I
I
mean,
guess so.
he takes
Yeah,
Mo
yeah,
Caitlin.
yeah.
I feel like he successfully
he
does
approves
it.
Yeah,
Yeah, but-
successfully-
He attempts and succeeded.
Yeah, okay.
Hmm.
For the you see this before the episode. Yeah, good, well written.
All right. Let's go with we'll roll right down the road here. So Glenn, you start with your least favorite thing.
Just the sight of the flayed man, just nasty.
Bench.
Kechung, Kechung, Kechung.
Luke.
I stand by. I understand Luke. I'm going to say I understand Luke's points, and it opens my eyes to look at it differently. And still, just Kechung.
It's not great TV. I get that.
No regrets. That's my motto. That and everybody went Kechung tonight.
That's Glenn for you, folks.
Luke and Duke.
Luke Duke thinks that the least favorite thing for him, speaking in third person, was how short Dany is with Jorah. Like, just not even giving him a chance. And I'm not a Jorah fan.
Like,
I'm not a
she's
Jorah.
shorter than Jorah.
Yeah, I mean, she's like 5'2", 3
And
tops,
Jorah's
and
like
he's
6.
close
What
to
a fucking
6,
short
somewhere
kid.
around there. And, you know, she's just really short around him, and that's not cool.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Short people are no
No
people.
Show people.
That's absolutely rude.
Worries, no way.
All right. We're gonna
Yeah,
cut that song off
little
because I don't
No,
like it.
my main point is
Little-
I'm not a Jorah fan, but he doesn't even get a chance to explain where he was at the time. And it's like, hey, I just met you, and this is crazy. I'm spying on you,
But
so
here's my
forgive.
I demand a trial by combat.
or wombat.
Nope.
Or wombat, at least.
Thank you. Thank you.
This microphone.
You're getting too out
Yeah.
of hand.
I'm just so
Yeah, he's too
excited.
excited.
Calm
I'm
the
so
fuck down.
excited.
All right, calm it down. So my least favorite thing is the Viper versus the Mountain outcome.
Outcome.
Oh,
Okay.
the
That's-
outcome.
My least favorite
You might have
thing.
heard some like
The
anger, or,
decision.
like
Some
what the
haters.
fuck? But the outcome. She said the outcome of the mountain versus.
So the
Viper,
ref,
which-
you don't like the ref's decision.
Yeah, no,
And
it's
they both
not
died.
unanimous. Come on.
No decisions.
Imperious Daenerys.
Bailey, what was your least favorite thing?
Just the whole scene at Castle Black, I feel like it was really it wasn't relevant to the rest of the episode.
They tried
does
to
feel
wedge
a
it
little-
in.
like very
Yeah.
brief.
It was like less than a minute, and it just didn't. It related to the first scene, and then that was it.
Yeah, I
We're
mean,
so sad.
it wasn't
What are we
even
gonna
boxer
do?
briefs. It was just briefs.
Who wears those anymore? Weird. All right, let's move on to our favorite things. We'll go in reverse order. Bailey, what was your favorite thing?
Jamie and Cersei's faces during the fight.
That's a good one. And me second, which I don't have a favorite thing, so I'm skipping me. Luke.
I really liked Theon, actually seemingly Theon taking Moat Kalen. And go ahead and keep clicking. Got like 400 photos to get through. Oh,
Okay.
yeah. No, but like Theon getting Moat Kalen, almost falling back into Reek. It's just so well acted. Alfie Allen is pretty damn impressive here. I'm a fan.
He's a fanboy. All right, Ben, you're next.
I'm sorry to tell you, but your aunt is dead. Yeah.
And now
just-
we're all laughing like Arya.
Well, I can't because I don't want to make my microphone go crazy.
I'm not laughing because I'm pro Sandor at this point, so I can't laugh. You know,
I'm voting Sandor. Vote yes
it's
on,
not
on
funny.
Vote yes on Proposition Sandor.
It's not a laughing
Prop,
matter.
prop H.
Prop S.
Pound.
Preparation
Oh.
H.
Yeah.
Pound.
Preparations A through G were a total failure,
Vote
so
no
we're
on
gonna try
Prop Out.
preparation
Let's vote
H.
yes on Prop Sandor.
Ooh, Glenn,
Oh, okay.
My favorite
Prop
your
thing.
favorite thing? Yes.
I liked the fight between the Mountain v Vite. I
Yep.
just thought it was like obviously everyone was just kind of thinking that the mountain was gonna reign supreme, but I think the Viper showed
And
that
burrito supreme. And
You
a
know.
cutlass supreme.
it's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog, if you will.
Is that a Glen of House dog
Hey.
And
old
that's
saying?
a Glen of House dog secondary common phrases. or-
Okay, so it's like the Lannisters
Common
always pay
saying.
their dads.
Right.
Those aren't their house words. You know better than this. God damn it, Mr. Lewin, just let me out of here.
The bigger they are, the harder they fall.
I completely agree with Glenn. I really think that's the
Really?
best scene in this episode. They did a really good job
Yeah.
with it.
I have finally decided my favorite thing. It's gonna be Sansa's new look.
Ooh, girl howdy.
That-
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be
The
my favorite
new
thing for this
emo
one.
look.
So-
Good choice.
anything else about favorites?
It's trendy.
It's she would definitely be
It's
trending.
trendy.
I feel like she's about to be in a My Chemical Romance video.
Yeah, right.
You know, welcome to the Black
Yes.
Parade. It's good.
All right,
Good
are
look.
we
for her.
ready?
2 monster truck drivers at my party. Trendy.
Who's finished
Something
their
else
Colt
we hope
45?
are gonna be trendy. We have a new podcast that will be coming soon.
Like actually
Yours-
soon.
Yours truly, myself and Bailey over there are working on the podcast that fights and F words. Bailey, tell them something good about it.
So we are working on an Outlander podcast called Fights and F Words, and it will be releasing shortly before season 4 comes out.
Which is November 4th, people. November 4th.
Get
the new
excited.
season comes out. I know, it's going to be.
Get
oh,
hype.
Damn it, Luke. I'm so hyped, okay? So hyped. A new promo came out today.
I
the
saw it.
Redwood on
It's
a
so
mountain.
exciting.
I know. So, yes, you can learn more at thepodcastthat.com. And whenever Luke allows us to release these, we'll release them on you.
Boss man.
It's going to be a unique podcast release where we're going to actually batch release, hopefully, all of the previous season recap episodes, and you're doing multiple episodes at a time. And so hopefully it'll be about 2 weeks before the new season airs. And yeah, a lot of fun, exciting things coming out with that.
Yeah. While you binge watch, you can listen to us. We're kind of, these first shows, we're going to call them kind of extended recaps, get us back in the mood. So with that, now we are on to speculations from our first time watcher.
Hey,
on the
Abby,
wall.
take it away.
Thanks. So I left my speculations downstairs, but
Just guess.
that's what I'm just gonna guess.
I got it.
Sabenya, Beverisi.
Back to the Lion King.
Pink pajamas. baby.
Penguins on the bottom. Big pajamas, penguins on the bottom.
Okay, so
Okay.
my first one is going to be that even though I guess the Viper lost,
He's gonna come
Tyrion
back.
can't die. One, because they cannot kill him, right? My friends, they cannot kill him. Two, because spoilers are everywhere and all of you people out there suck. Three, because they cannot, even if I didn't know spoilers, they cannot kill him. And what
He's-
happens if there's a draw? Like, we don't really know if the mountain's dead, but I mean, he could die.
Yeah,
He has
Tyrion-
some-
How do you know this? That's what I do. I drink and I know things.
I mean, like, what if the mountain dies? Is it a draw? Or he died second? What?
It's pretty definitive that the mountain killed Viper, so Tyrion lost. That's
But-
kind of how it falls. It doesn't.
The mountain dies, succumbs in the next 20 minutes to his ailments.
You died first.
Viper
Viper died
also
first.
Killed.
You're the first.
Yeah.
death.
Yep, and fucking Tywin called it out. He's sentenced to death. The gods have spoken. You know.
Tywin.
Really depends on your definition of dead, as Cardinal Doomsday points out.
Hey, they could bring him
so
back.
much things
Where's-
worse than
From
death.
Bravos?
Where's the paramedics?
Abby, speculation number
Did
two.
they check his pulse?
Speculation number 2.
Yeah, did they
Yeah,
check?
yeah.
Did they
But you
He's
can
dead.
live through it.
did they check Obern's pulse? That's a great question.
I didn't think a genie could kill you. He'd be surprised if you could live through.
Okay, we're gonna go with Danny and Jorah.
Okay.
I do not think this is the last time that Jorah will be seeing Dany. I think he's going to come back in some way. I think possibly he does go back to Westeros and like try to rally troops for her. Like, yeah, get on the bandwagon, get on our Jojen train. We're supporting Daenerys Targaryen. She's the one true.
Jojen train
Yeah.
So,
So I don't think he is stopping being a voice of her cause, even though she
spy.
has kicked her out. I guess you
I mean,
should say.
that's a thought.
That's a thought. It's a thought I
I
had.
just like fuck with
Barry's
you
like,
either
whoa,
way.
whoa, whoa, what are you doing? Get back
I
there.
know.
Get back.
Go with this story now.
Let's go with Sansa, and Microfinger. Yeah, Robin's out. He's been out for a while. It's hard. I think and Microfinger get married.
Sansa and
Maybe?
Microfinger?
Maybe, yeah.
Well, if it's speculation, you have to be fucking confident about it.
I mean,
Let's hear it.
There's
these are
no
all
maybes.
speculations.
Act like you've been there
So
before.
yeah, let's say that. Let's say Sansa and Microfinger, they are in a now
A nuptial
marriage
agreement.
relationship. Yes, it's an agreement more than anything, where she is trying to play a big game. He's pretty versed in it, but she still holds something he wants. So there we go with that. Who else do we have?
I haven't heard from Bran in a while.
I have no idea about Bran. I don't know.
North.
So Ygritte lets Gilly go. I do think that Gilly finds obviously Sam and maybe goes and lives at the wall for good. I don't know. Doesn't really
Okay.
seem safe either.
So
but
Gilly lives at Wall for good. All right.
yeah,
Gilly for good.
they let her do the washing for good there.
All right.
There you go. Oh, I'm hosting this shit. Okay, moving on.
Hey, host, continue us.
Okay, so let's
Continue
go
the
to
joke.
our house name, word, sigil, ancestor, Twitter, and our final thoughts. I will start here. I am Gertie of House Condescension. My words are we don't quit. My sigil is a field of white with a raven sitting atop a black appointed chevron. My famous ancestor is Casey Jones. My personal Twitter is at GoHomeGertie. And my final thought was I crushed.
Crush.
Well played.
Crushed. Bailey.
I am Bailey of House Blend. My house words are but first, coffee. My house sigil is a mermaid on a field of green. My famous house ancestor is Alfred Pete. You can find me on Twitter at Riddle Writes. And my final thought, Oberyn should have quit while he was ahead.
Luke.
I am Lucan of House Blackmead. Ours is the drink, or our house words. We carry a sigil with an obsidian black chalice on a gold and blue checky background. Our famous house ancestor is Ashmere Rivers. You'll learn more about him later. You can find me on my personal Twitter at LucaFerocious. My final thought on this episode, it's a good episode. The Mountain Viper fight, thumbs up.
Benj.
So I'm Sly of House McLean. Our house words are it's dangerous to drink alone. House sigil is 3 gold triangles on a field of red and black. House ancestor is my great uncle John, the savior of winter celebrations. You can find me on Twitter at Sly McLean. And personal and final thought is I give the Mountain vs. Viper 2 thumbs to the eyes.
2 thumbs way up.
Way.
Yeah, that was terrible. That was so good, but terrible.
Nice job.
Glenn.
Nice job.
And I am Glenn of House Dog. My common saying is, it's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog. My house words are, you miss 99% of the shots you don't take. My house Sige is a Spuds McKenz with a Wayne Gretzky jersey on. My famous house ancestor is the Duff, and my personal Twitter is at popsiclestand.
Awesome. You
Final
Final
at
thought?
popsiclesand.com.
Final thought. Let's go.
Speaking of our house sigils, I'm really hoping that soon we will have our house sigils up on TeePublic Store. Check that out at thepodcast.com/support us. I'm not only looking at Abby here, I'm also trying to figure that out myself. So, teamwork, folks.
Makes the dream work. Okay, so you can become a patron, become a patron to get access to our epilogue episodes coming up next with our wonderful guests. You can find information on that at patreon.com/stayimaginary for all the ways you can help keep our beer bank full. Check out the podcastthat.com/support us. Follow us on Twitter at KnowAndDrink. Send us a digital raven at knowandDrink@gmail.com. Subscribe, like, rate, and leave comments on iTunes and YouTube. And until next time, as always, I still don't know, so I'll just drink.
As always, don't turn your back on the wolf pack.
As always, winter is coming, and so am I.
As always, keep reading.
And as always, stay imaginary. And we're still here for the live stream.
Yeah.
You are getting extra content as always. It's usually bullshit.
Can confirm.
Yeah. So this is the behind the scenes. Are we doing an epilogue episode? I don't know what we're gonna talk about.
We could do Mountain Viper,
What else about it?
the Fallout.
Crawl out through the fallout.
Bram,
baby.
bram, bam.
When I drop that.
I'm gonna drop
bomb.
that bomb.
I mean, just an idea. Hey, CD, you got any input on something you'd like the non-first time
Really?
watcher?
Really, screen caps?
Yeah. What's that?
I said, really, screen caps?
Yeah. 2 thumbs to the eyes. That's what this episode gets.
Well, either way, Abby,
Either way, you can.
I hope you're drunk, and you're
I'm
clearly
not.
not as
2
drunk as you
bottles
were
later.
last week.
No.
I was fucking hammered.
We know,
If you
and I was too by the end of it.
Yeah.
if you
It's
need
sad. I was like
a
the
strong
most sober
drink,
one.
whatever the fuck I was drinking, Hope's
Except
End.
Even Glenn.
Oh
Hope's End.
my, Hope's End. Like seriously, I am. This is my second bottle of wine. I mean, I'm drunk, but not like.
Dang.
But last weekend, I couldn't even contain myself. It was
Yeah, that box on my first episode really screwed me over.
Which was the purple wedding
Plus
episode.
the large ass glass.
You're not wrong, CD.
What is? I wonder what this alcohol content is.
See, my
yes.
thing is like, because you guys came over and I think I had 4 beers while you guys were there, and so I had a good little buzz and everything. It's always
Earlier
weird-
today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's always weird for me, like, because I drink until I'm done, I go home, go to bed, but that's why I don't day drink. And so you guys came over, and I was like, all right, and then I stopped.
We showed up with
Drinking
beers in
on
pocket.
And so I'm like, okay, I'm fine. I'll grab a couple beers from my fridge, and all right, cool. Now I should go to bed, but now my wife and kid are home, and I can't.
It's middle of the day.
And so I ended up like eating dinner and sobering back up just to come back here. I was like, all right.
Well, I was drunk when we left, and then we came home, and I stopped, and we had dinner, and drank some more, and now I'm drinking again.
Yeah.
As long as you just keep drinking, you're fine. Just don't
drink.
stop.
Just don't.
Just don't stop.
If I quit drinking,
Ride the wave.
the cumulative hangover would probably kill me in an instant. Name that show.
I feel like it's a Rick and Morty thing, but it's not.
Nope.
I feel like
It is
like
an animated show.
2.5 Men.
What is it?
Archer.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Bloody Mary, full of vodka. My prayer to thee.
Oh, hail
Blessed are sinners, for which I am one.
Father of knife hands.
CD Cardinal Doomsday has a great idea. I think all of us can have a stake in this investment opportunity. Pocket-sized beers. We need to patent
the
that.
2 fit in your pockets.
I did have two in my pockets earlier.
I was gonna say.
I got something in my front pocket.
I think it's a marketing thing. We just need to make sure that we're marketing them as pocket-sized beers.
Well, we have to market
They'd have
is
to be
the
like
pocket
flask-
protector, the pocket beer protector.
Oh, see, there you go. The nerds will love it, and so will the beer drinkers,
Right?
who are basically nerds.
The
usually.
pocket koozie.
The Pakuzi.
The Pakuzi.
We're working on it. That sounds like
It's made
Makuza.
out of a koozie
Idea
material.
in progress.
All right, we're working on it. We're working on
All
CD.
Either way, I think I'm going to watch the next episode. So.
All right, I will
All
watch
right.
your live
Losers
tweeting from
laters.
it.
All right,
Yeah,
so
Chad, keep if you're not following Abby on Twitter, go home Gertie. She live tweets after we're done. She will go and watch the episode and live tweet her reactions to everything. So
I was
it's
super
actually
drunk last week.
it was hilarious because I'm like trying to figure it out because I was pretty drunk by the end of it.
Yeah.
But
Go
like I'm
home, Gertie.
watching her Twitter, I'm like, what the fuck are
Go.
you talking about? You know, and I
Go
realized,
home.
oh, she's already watching it.
Yep, go home. So that's when I'm going. I'm already home.
Because I think
but
she was
I'm going
tweeting, Kechung, Kechung.
I think there was a good chunk in there.
there. Oh Lord.
Everybody
All right.
Well,
I'll see you all later.
on that note,
Yeah.
give me that not microphone, keyboard back.
Yeah.
Goodbye,
Goodbye,
Abby.
chat. Goodbye, friends.
Goodbye, Moon.
All right, I'm gonna start closing things down. Drunks and nerds.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
That's definitely Luke.
Yeah, a little bit of both. A lot of both. Yeah, so thanks for hanging in with us. We had some technical difficulties starting this one off.
Yeah.
Microphones shit in the bed as
Microphone.
micro fingers. Microphones shit in the bed as we started, and that's why there was some weird audio things. But I think overall we turned out okay. And Cardinal Doomsday, thanks for hanging out as always. Hopefully the Aussie days are treating you fucking awesome. And maybe we'll have you on one of these episodes here for season 5 or 6 soon. So let us know. Follow us on Twitter and send me a message there. And yeah, we'll set it up. But until then, goodbye.
Peace out.
Doodles.
Glenn, you're not gonna say anything?
Bye-bye.